Okay, I'll bet you thought we were done with these equations when I said we knew everything about the equations. Well, we do as equations go, but there's another way to represent a system of linear equations, and it's as a matrix product. Okay, so I'm saying that this system of equations, the one that we used over here and reduced down to find there's no solution, is in fact a matrix product. Can be expressed as a matrix product. Okay, so I say the matrix product is AX equals B, where A is the matrix of the coefficients, 1, 2 in the first row, 4, 8 in the second row. We don't augment this matrix because we want to have an equal sign in our equation. We don't have that implicit equal sign in our matrix. That would steal our thunder from the equation. Okay, so here's our matrix. And X is now, instead of XY, I'm going to call X X1, X2. Because using X and Y would be a little confusing when this vector is labeled X. So instead of 2Y and 8Y and X and Y, I'm going to call these, my original X's X1 and X2, X1 and X1. And now these are both X2. So X2 is just what Y was before, but it makes our notation a little easier to keep track of. Okay? And B is what we get on the right-hand side. Now let's see if that's really true. Okay? Well, and of course I'm assuming, a matrix multiplication at the time you're seeing this. 1, 2, 4, 8 multiplied by X1, X2 equal 424. Now that's just my matrix equation. A here, X vector here, the B vector here. Okay, that's what it says. Well, if I do the multiplication on the left, what do I get? I get 1 times X1 gives me X1, 2 times X2 gives me 2X2. So multiplying the first row by this column gives me this. Multiplying the second row by this column, I get 4X1 plus 8X2. And of course, the right-hand side of the equation is just this. So matrix equality and says that I've got a column here of two numbers, two quantities. I've got a column here of two quantities. The corresponding, the entries in this matrix are equal to the corresponding entries in this matrix. Each entry in this matrix is equal to the corresponding entry in this matrix. So what corresponds to the first number in this column, or the first quantity in this column? Well, it's the first quantity in this column. So that X1 plus 2X2 equals 4, and 4X1 plus 8X2 equals 24. There's our matrix equation, and it's identical to the system. This is what our matrix equation tells us, our matrix equality tells us. This matrix equality is equivalent to the matrix equation, so this has to be equivalent to the matrix equation, so the matrix equation has to be equivalent to this, which is equivalent to this. So this is equivalent to this matrix equation, and this matrix equation, as we've written it here and defined it.